we must first and foremost put our relationship first before the things that we want to acquire. In other words, we must focus on who we are becoming, not at what we are acquiring.
Greetings, Pastor Barnabas. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here again.
It's amazing to have you. Last time you had a very transformational conversation on the aspect of personal finances, personal discipline on the financial aspect. And today we just want to dive a little bit deeper into another level of financial discipline, which of course comes now on a family level. But I think before we really dive deeper into that, I just want you to double click a little bit on the aspect of how to handle finances, because I believe people handle their finances differently from family to family. It's of course not a one size fits all, but unfortunately there are also some families that really never discuss about how to handle finances in their own marriages and their own families, and that can also result in massive problems within the family or in marriages, right? According to statistics, there's a high number of marriages that actually come to end because of finances. That their problems that are in marriages are traceable back to how they handle their finances and their financial aspects in families. But now, can you just, from your experience in your marriage, and of course with dealing with a lot of issues of this nature when you're playing an advisory role, how would you advise people to handle finances? Maybe they are newlyweds, people that are new in a marriage. How best can they deal with their finances? Should they take it from a standpoint where they say we're going to put our finances together as a family and then we create one account? Or is it like a man is a provider, and maybe from that aspect somebody can say, I've literally come across this conversation before. I was talking to a lady and then she said, when I get married, my money is my money, but his money is our money. That's somebody else's answer. I don't condemn it. That's their own thinking. But from your experience, your massive experience that you've gained over the years, how would you advise people to handle finances in marriages before we go to the discipline aspect?
Great. Thank you so very much. It's really quite an interesting topic. And it's my prayer that we are going to, pick one or two insights on how best we can really build, strong families. Now, before we go much into that, there's an example that we've just given of a lady who said that when I get married, my money, all right, is going to be my money and his money is our money. All right.
Yeah.
My money is my money, his money is our money. I always like giving an example of, hydrogen and oxygen. Okay, when you let's say hydrogen is the man and oxygen is the woman. So the language of oxygen is oxygen. The language of hydrogen is hydrogen. When you bring the two together, two molecules of hydrogen plus one molecule of oxygen, they become water. The language then changes to water. Okay. Yeah. So when we're talking about a family relationship, the question is, what is the language of this marriage or of this relationship or of this family? Mm-hmm. What is the common language that we use for communication as far as the relationship is concerned? So in the example that you have given, there are two things that you see there. There's the language of my money and the language of his money being our money. So already there are two languages that are coming into one relationship that might then bring division. All right?
Yes.
Yeah. So before we even come to the money aspect or the finances aspect of it, we must be able to define the kind of relationship that we are in. We must be able to define the value systems of our relationship. We must be able to define the purpose of our relationship. All right.
Yes.
So, before we formulate a family, there are two individuals that are coming together. In this case, we are talking of a husband and a wife coming together. But remember, the husband was raised by a society, by a family, by a father, by a mother. And then the wife is also coming from another background where the language could have been that of my money is mine, his money is ours. Then she might be marrying a man who is also coming from another background where the language was, he might have heard the mother say, my money, his money is our money. All right.
Yeah.
So the two are now coming together. His money, my money is our money. This side, the language is my money is my money, his money is our money. Then we come together. So the starting point should be, how do we diffuse that? All right?
Yeah.
How do we break that kind of mentality and come up with a new mentality, a new foundation, a new platform which we are able to, on which we are able to communicate and understand each other, all right? And come up with new value systems, come up with new mission statement, come up with a new vision of who we are and who we want to become. All right.
As a family.
And once we do that, it will then be easier for us to manage the finances, all right, or control the finances instead of the finances controlling us. All right.
Yeah.
So that's one aspect. Secondly, the disadvantage, and I'm using the word disadvantage, you know, with the statement that the lady was making, is that, you see, before she goes into the relationship, she has already put her money in front of the relationship. All right? She's already convinced herself, and she has already said, when I get married, my money is my money, his money is his money, his money is our money, but she's not married yet.
Yeah.
Okay, she doesn't even know the kind of a person she's going to marry. She doesn't even know whether this person is going to have money or not. All right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the best advice that I always give is, we must first and foremost put our relationship first before the things that we want to acquire. In other words, we must focus on who we are becoming, not at what we are acquiring. What we are acquiring must be secondary to who we are becoming. And once we understand who we are and we have defined that, then we can now look into what we are acquiring.
Yes.